really good point about the elitism. And I think it's very interesting. So this is a recent YouGov poll, and Meghan, oh boy, Jesus, poor girl. She's fallen down, disliked actively by 27%. Of course, people know who she is. But as I've always said, as she keeps falling, as her brand keeps not selling, because you and I both know nobody's buying enough jam or wickless candles to keep the lights on in Montecito, she keeps showing more and more of her children's faces and does not care one whit about being seen as a hypocrite. She likes to tell us, the little people, keep your children off of social media, and then posts her own children on social media, which it just drives me nuts. Like, if I get that Harry's a little dum-dum, right? Like, Harry's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but Meghan likes to say she's so brilliant. She went to college and all this stuff, which, yay, I love when people go to college. But it's also kind of like, girl, we see right through you. You're going to tell me what to do and then do it yourself. And then she utters this BS excuse of like, well, this is on my personal page. It's not selling the kids. Sorry, you sold the kids last week with the candles. And also you've had them in as ever things before. So it's kind of like having the audacity to look at us and say, who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes? Like, what the heck is going on here, Kins?
Wait, I want to finish up on something about Travelist before we pivot to Meghan
Markle.
Markle.
Please do.
Tuesday. You talked about the decline of Travelist and how you find it similar to what's going on with Invictus and Senebale. And I do think it's important to mention, because I heard that this devastated Harry, that he's lost several important people at Travelist, and it really affected him. His chief executive officer, Sally Davy, stepped down in December of last year, and she'd been with the organization for 5 years. And it was her job to expand global partnerships, was what the LinkedIn said, develop this travel impact model. But he also lost India Gary Martin, and that was the company's first chairman. Quit her position, left the nonprofit after less than 2 years to focus on her own business. And we saw a similar decline with Senebale. We're seeing leadership leaving Invictus. Attitude reflects leadership. Harry and Meghan are at the top of the pyramid here, and you've got these people bailing. And I think it is a reflection of the ecosystem of the company. Like, this is not worth it. And we saw similar accounts when it came to their commercial pursuits as well in Vanity Fair and The Hollywood Reporter. Meghan and the candles and the kids, it's the fighting back that I like. She is told she's a hypocrite. We know that Meghan has been told that we are calling her out on sharing the children's pictures because she's responding to it. I mean, she told Newsweek that she doesn't use them for commercial reasons. She said that she's always been clear that there is a distinction between sharing moments from her life and exposing her children to public scrutiny. And she claims by obscuring their faces, she's demonstrating the very principle she advocates for, giving children privacy, agency, and protection in an increasingly digital world. Okay, word salad. Your children cannot consent to being shared in any way, shape, or form. Yep. And to my point before, I do think that it's a security issue where there are some freaks out there or some paparazzi with little morals and values. Harry would probably attest to this too, that want to get the shot so that people can see what she looks like or her children look like on the internet. I mean, she is a hypocrite in every way, shape, or form. You mentioned the candles. There's the create and cultivate stage she was on right before she married Harry, where she's like, I'm never going to sell a $100 candle. I'm not, that's obnoxious. And now you have to buy over $100 worth of candles if you want her dumbass matchsticks.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's also interesting. So I'm doing a story this weekend about how she's been using AI to create her advertising.
Oh.
Which, just BT dub, goes against FTC rules. So
also, it goes against what she says in her Geneva speech about how AI's come to kill us all, to take us all down.
One hundo, Kinzarella. I mean, it drives me bonkers. Also, because she has shown her child's face. In this photo that I just put up, you can see that kid's profile.
Well,
very clearly.
You can't just decide you're gonna. You can't just decide you're not going to show the children's faces after there is a 6-hour Netflix series where the children are all over it. Their faces exposed. And you talk about AI, if somebody wanted to, they could throw some of those stills in from the Netflix series, because you get plenty of both children in the Netflix series, and say, what will this child look like in 13 years? And it'll be pretty freaking close. Like, if you cared. I don't care. Those children are not royals to me. They will never, I don't care where they technically land in the line of succession. They will never reign. And they're irrelevant to me. And I've never called them prince and princess, I don't think, and I never will. I can confidently say I never will in my life.
By the way, how to raise your kid to be a complete jerk. I'm Princess Lily, back off.
I'm named after my dead great grandmother, who I've never met. My parents did not get her permission either.
It's either raise a jerk or raise your kid to get a beat down in school, because that would have happened in my place in Ohio and Kentucky. They would have been like, Prince Archie, but kids are horrible. Well,
so are their parents, if we're being honest.
No, there's a reason why I have a dog. But what I also find interesting is that as her popularity goes down and as her products don't sell, she's not selling out on one-off. I've written about that before. People are now writing about how her products are not selling. They're getting more and more desperate. And the kids' faces are being shown more and more. And, you just wonder, at what point does Harry clue in that his wife is doing everything he said he hated about his childhood?
Yeah. She said the reason she refused the royal, and I think it's I understand that.
One of the many reasons she refused. Yes.
Yeah. I understand that getting out of the hospital bed and doing hair and makeup and having to stand on, some asphalt while people take your picture days after giving birth is uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But I've always thought it was so sweet, to witness Princess Diana and the Princess of Wales with the cradling their baby, and they're proud. They're so proud of their babies in those pictures. Meghan and Harry refused to do that. Meghan then goes, I'm not just going to offer up my son on a silver platter to media. And it's like, well, what are we watching right now? Social media, these companies that you have said are the devil for the last 6 years. Harry and his Aspen Institute cronies trying to create laws around how we should behave on social media. And then she goes and offers up her children on social media. Remember when Hilaria Baldwin sold pictures of her children to People? I sometimes wonder, because they've got a really great relationship with People magazine, Harry and Meghan. I sometimes wonder if that's what she's inching up to, and then they're going to give a portion of the buyout to a charity or Archwell Foundation.
And again, Archwell Foundation. WTF is Archwell Philanthropy.
So
it's not the foundation anymore. Because the foundation financially went down the toilet. And I think the IRS might have been sniffing around, allegedly. And so now
it doesn't help when you give Joe Biden's daughter $250,000 and she doesn't report it on her taxes. Now everybody's asking questions.
Yeah. It's oh my Lord. But you know what they're really going to be doing? The teeth are going to be gnashing in Montecito this weekend as Peter Phillips marries Harriet, and they are not going to be there. And I think this is going to really knife Harry in the old heart. It's going to be like, what might have been, like a really cheesy Instagram post. But I do feel quite bad for him. And also at this point, it's getting a little odd because William and Catherine bit the bullet. They bit the bullet in many ways. And I always have to remind myself, just patience. I am the least patient person I know. Kinsey,
and I can attest to this because at 8:58 a.m., Paul was calling me going, "Where are you?" And I said, "I have a curling iron in my hair. I will be there in a minute."
It's true. And I'm like, I'm super punctual. I freak out if I'm late. I'm not very patient. I'm like, well, whatever. And William and Catherine have reminded me,
it's a virtue, girl.
Patience is best. They shut the hell up. They bit their lip through accusations of bullying, racism, beat down on a dog
physical attacks.
You name it. And now they're actually beating Harry and Meghan at the game that Harry and Meghan say they want to play. So all of us remember, of course, the disastrous trip to Australia, which they tried to say was so great. And in the hospital where they had all the kids wheeled out to meet them and take their masks off for photo time. And the kids were like, some of those photos were out of this world where the kids are like, I just want to go home, have ice cream, go away.
Can my immune system handle these strangers who just got off a plane?
Thank you. Who may or may not have washed their hands and are staring at the camera, wondering where they should look. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much. Again, I appreciate you guys welcoming me back, welcome me into the community in general. I adore you. Please like, please subscribe, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Well, we're going to break down that royal wedding because it's going to be good. And then on Sunday, I will have the celebrity crash report for all of those who want a little something, something outside of the days of our Montecito. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.